Good morning, everybody. Let me hear you make some good morning noise. Oh my, what is that? 1 second, hold on. Everyone just look up, look forwards, away from your mobile phones for a minute. Let me hear you make some noise. Thank you, BSc Esports Production Year 1. That's what I'm talking about. Hopefully you've had a wonderful Industry Week 23 so far. Just realize this mic's a little bit too low. That's better. Oh dear. Can we get some tech support over here? I'm joking. Hopefully you've had a wonderful Industry Week 23 so far. It's been quite the wonderful experience and the start for us yesterday. And we're going to start off with a bang today. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining us for today's session with Jim from Hado, the founder, the owner, the host with the most for Hado UK. In today's session, you're going to be engaged with Hado, talking about and learning about what Hado is, how it's taking the world of sports and esports by storm, and the opportunities that are available in production and in innovative technologies, which we're really hot on and involved with. Remember, throughout the week, everybody, during Industry Week, there's an opportunity to win a prize. So hashtag IW23. Take a photo, post it on the Instagram, get involved, and there's an opportunity to win £50 Amazon voucher. Ooh. Come on, man, seriously. What could you do with £50 right about now? Let me hear a ooh. Man, seriously, you all need some coffee or some caffeine. Who's got an energy drink on them right now? That is also disappointing. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to hand over to our guest. Make some noise for Jim from Hado UK.
Hi there, guys. So I'm going to work on the basis that you don't know what Hado is, because that's normally a pretty good starting point for most people I end up talking to, despite how rapidly it's growing and how well the sport's doing. So Hado was created in Tokyo about 7 years ago as a concept. Originally as a game that allows you to fight against giant monsters, because fighting against giant monsters is quite cool. They then very early on realized that actually fighting each other was more cool, which was basically where the sport came from. So Hado itself is the Japanese word for energy blast. So anyone that's ever played Street Fighter will have encountered the Hadouken, and Hadouken is Energy Blast Power Fist. And basically, you getting to play Street Fighter live is a pretty good way of looking at what Hado is. The guys in Japan basically grew up their whole lives watching anime, playing games, and everything they saw told them they should be able to fire energy blasts from their hands, so why couldn't they? So they created technology that meant that they could. So Hado uses augmented reality. So we're still seeing the real world and everything in it. There's no disconnection from our environment, which means we can move with speed and confidence in that space. But now we throw our hand forward and blasts of energy come from our hands towards our opponents, who can throw themselves out the way. They can raise energy barriers in the air to try and defend themselves and their team. You get a whole load of elements to it. So it can be looked at as being sort of like Street Fighter Live or Dodgeball on steroids, and it's kind of somewhere in that meeting ground between all of them. Japanese refer to it as a techno sport. So it's merging of physical sports and esports. Obviously, esports has got a great amount of skill associated to it in the way that you play, but doesn't tend to have a very strong physical element in when you're competing. Classic sports, very physical, however, also very, very, I suppose, exclusive in that it's not so much about skill, that size and strength in many sports are such overriding factors that it really wouldn't matter how much you trained. If someone was bigger and stronger, they've still got such a significant edge on you that it counterweights it. How do I take the best of both worlds? So you've still got the movement, the energy, the fitness of a classic sport, but combined with a level playing field of an e-sport. So a physical sport with no age categories, with no gender categories, because it's about who trains more, not who's bigger or stronger. And the best example of that is our current UK champions. Eldest member of the team has just turned 17. So they're currently 13, 14, and 17. They've been UK champions for the last 3 years. They have never lost a competitive game. They've beaten the RAF esports team in the final 3 times now. And they are between them 75% of the Hado England team, who are now the reigning European champions. The 4th member of Hado England is currently setting up over at Metronome and is going to be one of your coaches for today. So for those people who've never seen Hado, hopefully, if I press play on this, you'll get something on the screen.
Building your business on.
The joy of adverts. Sorry, guys. So, how do we play? So, I can pull that one up again.
Welcome to the world's first techno sport.
Apologies for the cheesy
Each
voiceover.
player wears a head-mounted display and armband sensor. 2 teams of 3 battle it out over an 80-second round. The team with the most points wins. A draw leads to sudden death. How to score. Players fire energy balls from their armband sensor, aiming for opponents' life cells. Break all 4 to earn a point. These life cells regenerate. A single energy ball can destroy all 4 cells. Defense. In Hado, dodging energy balls is the best defense. Each player can raise a shield for cover against attacks. Energy balls pass through your own shield for an effective offensive strategy. Player skill set. Each player assigns points to 4 skills. Energy ball speed. Energy ball size. Energy ball charges. Shield stock and strength. Teams can choose an offensive formation with no shields, or a defensive one with a large stock. There are a variety of strategic options, and teamwork is essential to win. You're now ready to hit the Hado court.
So, as I
Hello,
said,
everyone, and welcome.
Start on for a second. So, but yeah, apologies for the cheesy voiceover. But obviously, I hope that gives you an idea of how Hado works. So, we played 3v3. A match lasts 80 seconds. It's very, very fast-paced in the way it operates. We send these augmented reality blasts of energy out towards our opponents. Each opponent, so in the video there, has got a circular marker in front of them made of 4 sections. That's their life marker. That's what you're trying to hit. You're not trying to hit the other person. You're trying to hit the marker. And you can also raise those defensive shields. What that means is that the marker, because it's the same size, no matter who you are, means that physical size is irrelevant. The stats that we're showing you there, speed, scale, charge rate, shields, those are what basically replace your physical strength and ability. So it's about the stats that you choose. So each player starts off with a level 1 in every skill. You can go to level 5, but you only have 6 points to spend. So just like in quite a lot of the esports style settings, you can effectively go for firepower, so basically go for a DPS build. You can go for heavy shields to go into that sort of tank build, or you can go much more into a crowd control build by taking heavy charge rate and looking to put a lot of shots out to control the field of play as you move. So lots and lots of tactics, lots of different ways you can play. Every team member can take different stat builds, and obviously every match you play, you can change those stat builds. So the more competent a player is, the more capable they are at playing multiple roles, which means the other team can't necessarily second guess what it is you're playing, how you're playing, what your tactics are, and what they might do to get an edge against them. Which does also mean, therefore, knowing the opposing team's stats is incredibly useful, which means you'll see quite a lot of people who'll go and do the whole sportsmanship element and go and shake their opponent's hand before the game and look to see if they can just twist the wrist very slightly during the handshake to see what stats they put in. So there's a whole range of things you can try and do there. Now, so that's what Hado is. That's kind of how we play. It's where it's come from. Now, since its inception 7 years ago, Hado has spread globally. It's now played competitively in 39 countries. So it's a full global sport, goes through to World Championships. Mentioned earlier, we've had the European Championships, which England won, and that was the second European Championships. So it's growing and growing and growing in terms of that general spread around the world, and it's growing because of the fact that it has this incredible level playing field, and it's still got the physicality, it's got the movement. It basically takes every sort of stock argument you hear against esports and destroys it for you because people are moving. And it takes all the arguments people have against physical sports in terms of, I can't win, I'm not biggest or strongest. It's not engaging enough. It's not, it's not drawing me in. I prefer games to the sports, and it also answers a lot of those. So it's why it's growing really so well. So in the UK, in terms of what we've achieved here, obviously we've got a number of arenas around the UK. We've also got the very first full Hado arena location. An arena location to dedicated sports centres. So we've got not just the first one in the UK, or the first one in Europe. It's the very first one outside of China or Japan. So we're sort of spearheading things here. Our aim is to get England to be the first country to beat Japan in the World Cup. To put Japan's dominance in perspective, there has so far only been one team ever in any international tournament that has ever beaten a Japanese team. So it's the odds currently stacked against us. Japan currently runs from their flagship arena in Odaiba. They run 3 1 million yen prize tournaments per week. A million yen is about £7,000. So first prize £7,000. They run 3 of those a week out of the Odaiba centre, and obviously then the whole ecostructure across Japan is huge. So in the UK, we are now part of the ESL Premiership, and we're working with them on a number of big tournaments. Give you a view of the, hopefully get this one in, and we'll give you a view of the Spring Cup, which was at Insomnia Gaming Festival last year, and will be again this year.
ESL Hado Premiership, powered by Intel.
Hado is an augmented reality sport. The aim is knock out the opposition by throwing an energy orb at them. You'll see that there's a tracking marker that looks like a circle that floats in front of them. That's got 4 segments. When you knock out all 4 of those segments, you're basically getting a point for your team, and you're knocking that player out for 3 seconds, and then they come back in. What you'll see is the game's a lot about pressure. And if you can overcome that pressure and find opportunities to shoot the other team without moving your head too much, you're going to win. It's the first tournament that we're running in partnership with ESL. It's running at Insomnia. It's a huge event. It should be good fun.
Right,
here we go.
Here we go, straight into it. Whew, I'm excited.
Come on, Blue, you can do it. Probably not, but at this point.
Oh, did you see that? Jump shot.
Nice jump shot. Good work,
Wow.
boss. The boss can still do this. They can do it. I'm cheering for the opposite team now.
Always for the underdog.
Always for the underdog.
I tell you, that was a game.
It was. All right, here we go. Warwick University, Birmingham.
University guys.
Oh, I have no real good clue about this. I don't know. Birmingham, they've got some good players, but we've not seen it yet. If Warwick play them and work that out, they'll win it. Go back to what you said about James using head motion. Right?
Yeah.
He's looking down, getting his target.
Exactly. Looks at the floor, that moves. Man, they're not out of it. Oof, they were coming back.
That was coming back.
Yeah, they were coming back.
That's right. Army Esports, Navy.
Army
Esports.
Navy.
Here we go.
Let's go. I think Navy are going to take this.
Do you? I think Army.
Yeah, I think Navy are going to take this. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Oh, 4-all. It's 4-all. Oh my, oh, just no!
Okay, might be getting some donuts after all good work.
Wow, I did not expect that.
I mean, that was a good comeback. Right, RDK, RGN Blades.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. I'd like RGN to win.
We want IDK to be pressured. We want them to lose because they'll make it better.
They come into these tournaments, they haven't lost a single game in a tournament.
Yeah. Oh, look at little grey man coming in. Ghost.
Oh, see that floor movement?
What is Ghost doing? Man, yeah, they're kicking at it as well. So RGN's looking. Yeah.
Oh, there's a roll. There was a roll.
Yeah, that's what we like. Give it a shot.
Oh, that's what we like to see. A little bit of a roll.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Good effort.
Pause that one because I'm going to come on to that one next. So that's what we've achieved in terms of the sport, where it's going, getting bigger and bigger tournaments, running everything else. Now, how does that then work with broadcast, cool tech advances, what we can do, because what we're doing there is we're just taking everything that we got from Japan and bringing it to people across the UK. Now, during lockdown, obviously, we're a physical sport. We couldn't play. So we got involved with the IBC, so the International Broadcasting Convention. I keep forgetting what the C stands for, which is based out of Amsterdam. They've been going for around 50 years. Obviously, they're the major show and event, really, for the broadcast industry. And 3 years ago, they started running what they call accelerator projects. So looking at how do you find answers to problems within the industry and getting competitor companies to work together to try and answer those problems. And so we got involved in the 2021 projects, and we won. And we beat BT Sport and Sky Sport and a whole load of others in doing so. And what we did was we proved that because Hado, the way it works, with this interaction between people in augmented reality, it means you have a physical sport where the two teams don't need to be on the same court, which means you can play matches between cities. We've now expanded that out to between countries. So we've been playing against South Korea and the US from the UK. Quite happily without anybody having to get on a plane or travel, but you're still playing a team-based physical sport against another team, which is fairly cool, really. Especially when you think about the fact, that you want to play someone in South Korea, it's not a case of getting the money to get a plane, get out there, transport hotels. It's a case of, well, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here, it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon there. Have you got half an hour spare? Right, I'll see you on the court. Which obviously you cannot do with any other physical sport. It just doesn't. It's just not a feasible or possible thing. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to see how far we could take this. So the 2021 project, which I'm going to show you a sort of like summary from, there, what we did was we looked at a tournament between Coventry and London. So we were at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry at Vodafone's centre there. And we were competing against Twickenham Film Studios in London. And that was done with both, obviously, the players in mixed locations, but we were also doing it so our hosts, one of whom was human, one of whom was digital, were based then on a digital set as well, giving us all a show on that, and you get to see the people involved in the project, and that'll give you an idea of where we've gone from there. So it starts one off.
So today, we were here live at Twickenham Studios, and we had a Hado team competing against another Hado team in Coventry that was connected over Vodafone's 5G network.
My favorite thing about this IBC accelerator is the use of 5G to connect the two different Hado locations.
The most important thing with anything, whether it's video or motion capture, is latency. And that's why 5G is so important.
Wi-Fi just didn't cut it, in fact. We need that new wireless technology.
Our interest in the LBXR consortium project was really from the point of view of introducing digital avatars, because that was one of our first interests.
The biggest challenge was trying to take the data that we know exists within the Hado system and find a way to record it, because it wasn't the thing that the system was ever designed to do.
What's amazing about the collaboration today is seeing so many aspects of that immersive world, from the cognitive side, the VR, the AR, the cross-reality, all coming together into a live production, and then applying all of that amazing data on top, creating one of the best fan experiences you can imagine.
So today it was an incredible experience. We got to do the combination of the Hado game with the mocap suit and also doing that remotely. So we had the team here in Coventry playing with the red team playing in Twickenham.
It's very immersive, and I think it's one of the most exciting applications of AR that I've seen in a long time.
I have a virtual co-host, which is Rochelle. She's full of energy. It's using the actual mocap suit is just unbelievable.
This is the Noitum motion capture suit. You can see it's an inertial suit, so you have all these sensors that have little gyroscopes in them.
It was just incredible to see how everyone was innovating on a daily basis in order to contribute.
I think what we're really looking forward to is being involved in the project again next year and taking it to IBC 2022.
The idea of a physical sport that you can remotely play really turns a lot of things on its head.
See everyone at IBC 2021.
Okay, so that's what we did in 2021. 2022, we went back. And I don't have a video for that one to throw at you, so I'm going to have to talk you through it. So 2022, we decided how do we take it further? We knew we could do between cities. That was great. So this time we did a tournament between London and Miami. And as I mentioned there, we were mocapping the players. We didn't get a chance to do a lot of that in 2021. In 2022, though, we mocapped the players. We recorded every piece of telemetry to do with the AR. And then we proved that not only could you be physically in London or physically in Miami and watch half the match, you could be remotely, obviously watch the streams from the 2 matches. You could also put a VR headset on and be watching a Tokyo street scene with the avatars of the players and all the AR elements in real time being put into that VR environment so you could watch the match happening in a single location. We could also then mix in with that, both on the stream and on the VR, AR advertising. So on the streams, it therefore replaced anything physical that was there with what we wanted to see. And that was hyper-personalized, so it could link to you and be as directed to you as a social media ad, even though you're watching what looks like a physical billboard or an advert point next to the physical tournament area, or in the VR, because we've got a street scene set up, there were advertisements and posters just around the space, and they were replaced in line with what we basically wanted to show to the audience. The VR element means that we can then not only show you that, so that match in a single place, it means that we can record that VR instance, and therefore after the match allow you to go into it and explore it. So unlike any other sport, you could then put a headset on, go into a match, go and stand on the centre line, have it play around you, pause it, take it backwards in time, go and put your face where a player's face was, see everything they saw at that moment. You know, how did they put yourself inside their avatar? How did they do that move? What was it they saw that caused them to change the way they were playing at that point, or do that particular move that flipped the way the match was going? So it gives you a way of interacting with the sport that simply doesn't exist with anything else, because we can create both the digital twins of the players and that we have the exact telemetry of every single element of AR that's moving around in that space and being able to record it and replicate it into a virtual environment as well. So we thought that was quite good. And then we've moved then beyond that as well. So for the last week, we've been at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, which obviously is the top show for anything to do with the mobile industry. And what we've been doing there, again, using this remote element that Hado has, and we've been running a tournament between Barcelona and Madrid. However, the whole thing has been done inside a 5G slice. So in terms of broadcast, in terms of how we get content out there, if we are not just want to do events between spaces, if we wanted to do, say, something at a big show, Insomnia is a good example, obviously we go there, we do events, unless you can happen to negotiate a connection to the internet backbone for the show, if you want a reliable connection out there, it will cost you thousands and thousands of pounds to have that drop to be able to plug into. And when you're doing a lot of shows, and we do a lot of shows, that connectivity adds up very, very rapidly if you want to be able to produce content, if you want to be able to broadcast out there. You can't use public networks. There's just so many people there, everything just stops. However, what we've been working on and partnered with Ericsson and Vodafone on is using their standalone 5G networks, which basically sit alongside the public networks. And in a standalone network, you can slice. And that means you can provide a guaranteed, obviously, minimum bandwidth, maximum latency to someone to allow you to broadcast through. So we were therefore, between those locations, even mid-show, being able to fire not just the Hado game back and forth between the two, because to be fair, Hado doesn't use that much content, but we also had content creator teams there as well, who were all using the slice and able to get content out constantly and consistently, no matter where they were working from. Another good example of this was, again, because it came out of some of the IBC project work we did, when Queen Elizabeth died and her coffin was being transported from Scotland. All of the broadcasts that were being done of the coffin being loaded on the plane were being done on a standalone 5G system that everyone was tied into, because there was no physical way to get a broadcast capacity onto the airfield. And so this now existence of these, not just moving on 5G as a thing we have on our phones, but as these standalone systems that now allow us to connect. And for what this is going to do for us at Hado, is again even more expansion of where we can go, what we can do. The key element there is that we can now, we can do broadcasts. Yes, we can make the games nice and slick. We can also now just put a 5G SIM in our headsets, because all that's in our headset is just smartphones. There's nothing special or clever about the hardware we use. It's clever code, not clever hardware. Well, we can stick a 5G SIM in those. We could stick the server onto Edge. And at that point, I can just go to a park and play. So if we want something small, we can go on a pub on a normal network. If we want to go run a tournament, just anywhere in the same way you could go and run a football game anywhere, then we arrange for a slice to be set up on the standalone network, and we can be there. We can content create from there. We can be anywhere we want as long as it's got access to that signal, without a wire, without a cable in sight, and being able to operate in all these different routes. And what it's allowing for us is this massive, huge, even more of an expansion than we're already having in terms of being able to get accessibility and get this out to people. And again, it's the thing that esports currently can't do because you need to be sat at the computer and plugged into each other. The 5G slicing hopefully will come across into that as well. But what we're doing with Hado, with the sports, it's opening up all these other opportunities too for us. So, as I hit you with a whole load of stuff there, are there any questions before I go into even more stuff? Yeah. Okay, that's a fair question. So the way that Hado works, it creates a single cloud arena, and every headset is providing data to that cloud concerning its exact location on the pitch, how it operates, how it moves. The server is then putting that data together and transmitting out a single map of the arena to all the headsets and the cameras, and then the headsets and cameras are then rendering that from the wearer's perspective. And that map's being updated at least 30 times a second, sometimes more if there's a greater number of player actions occurring during it. Because the map knows exactly where every player is on the pitch, and this is due to the banners that you saw in the clips there, which sit at each end of the pitch. Those banners, in amongst their artwork, have AR tracking markers merged into the artwork. So there's no sensors or electronics within them, it's just the artwork there, and that gives the headsets their telemetry for where they are on the pitch, down to the fraction of a centimetre, and then there's a mix of that artwork and the accelerometers and the headsets that guide you around the space. So it always knows exactly where you are. Therefore, also knows exactly where the edges of the pitch are. So during play, if you cross the centre line or cross a side boundary, you can no longer fire energy blasts, you can't raise shields, you can't charge, but you can still be shot by the other team. So the game automatically limits your capacity in any way. You know, you leave your area, there isn't a referee that needs to tell you you've stepped over a line, you're instantly shut down and just become a sitting duck for the other team. So because of that, it links in between, it controls very well between the two environments. Key thing with two environments is they've got to be the same, so you can't have a standard court is 6x10, but we can vary the sizes. So you can't have one team playing on a 6x10 court and another on a 5x8, because obviously the graphics won't align correctly. But basically, as long as your two teams are on matching sized arenas, then it's absolutely fine, and everything to do with the control and everything of the players is all handled within the software itself. Anything else? Yes.
So doing like matches globally and stuff like that, have like any like problems occurred there where like deciding which servers you could play on to do like problems with ping between players and like people complaining about competitive advantage?
Yeah, so we have had a tournament a couple of weeks ago in the UK where the team from Barnsley College had lost their transport literally 2 days before and couldn't get down, and we did and they opted to play remotely. We did have a problem on that one in terms of latency, but that was, to be fair, because they were running off a 4G hotspot on someone's phone. It wasn't even a 5G hotspot, it was a 4G hotspot. They could still play, but there were a couple of games where they clearly had lag. But outside of that, no. So when we first started into the research work to look at how we could do remote play, what was involved within it, what were the requirements, we started working with Cambridge Wireless. And they're a 5G research centre, obviously in Cambridge, and they have got a test private 5G network. And on that network, they can artificially put in lag, they can put in jitter, so we can basically look at how bad has a network got to be before what we want to do doesn't operate correctly. And what we were able to find out was basically that the Hado system, before you get to a point where you can actually perceive anything with the human eye, has got to be 120 milliseconds latency or greater, and running on about 40 milliseconds jitter. So that means you're flexing between basically 160 milliseconds and 80 milliseconds, so it's jumping all over the place. and that's because it uses packet data rather than broadcast. And so we were looking at how much digits you have to put on there to start knocking packets out of order. So you start getting the graphics jumping. Now, a 4G line will do below 120 milliseconds, as long as no one's really using it. But public 4G networks can hit around 2,000 milliseconds under heavy usage, which is pretty much no use to anybody. If you're on fast fiber or anything like that, yes, you can clearly be below that, but you've got to be somewhere where you can plug into it. And the content you want to produce, what event you want to run, things you want to do, may not be conveniently next to somewhere where you can plug into a fast fiber connection. As a public 5G connection, you're generally looking at around topping out at about the sort of 60 to 80 milliseconds level. When you go into the standalone 5G networks, you can be down to fractions of a millisecond on your latency if they choose to assign sufficient network capacity to it. Anybody else? One more question, apparently. About the tech, about the sport, about anything else.
Like how do you have to like like how does it deal with accessibility, like people in wheelchairs or like anyone that's disabled?
That is a very good question. So there is almost no restriction. I haven't got it lined up on YouTube, so I can't show you, but we had an athlete coming training with us about 6 weeks ago, and he's a triple medal winning Invictus athlete. He is triple amputee, so he has a left arm and that is it. And he moved more distance around the court than most first-time players do by quite some considerable margin. And is now our key example when people just stand there going, oh, I don't know what to do, and go, but this guy hasn't got legs, and he's moved 40 meters and you've moved 5. I mean, come on, there really isn't any excuse at this point. So yeah, outside of being blind, because it is a visual sport, we've been able to work with just about everybody. Our national sports lead for Hado in the UK is a lady called Shelley Holroyd. She joined us about 6 months ago, and she's developing all the coaching plans and accessibility and everything else that goes with the sport. She's joined us after 15 years at British Athletics, and she built most of the Paralympic pathway to tournament in the UK during her time at British Athletics. So she's worked with every group out there going. Before she joined British Athletics, she was an Olympic athlete herself. So she's gone the whole spectrum of experience there, and she still coaches a number of para and Invictus athletes as well during her part-time. So the sport is very, very accessible on that basis. I believe at the moment we've got Blaise, most of the Army Veterans Limitless Charity, who are currently looking at getting an official team to start competing in the national leagues because they can. We also had a tournament last academic year that was run in partnership with Sport Birmingham. And we went round a number of schools in the Birmingham area, teach them how to play the sport, help them select teams, and the final for that was held at Birmingham City University. One of the teams that took part, we didn't know it at the time, because we'd done all a bit about saying how accessible it is and everything else, and the teachers there took us at face value. And the teacher from that team came up to us at the end and said, we're specially trained to work with these kids. All of the students we brought here today were SEN. We find it hard to hold their attention for 15 minutes. You've just held it for 3 hours, and they've just gone toe-to-toe in a physical sport with mainstream education kids, and nobody here realised they were SEN. So, yeah. I mean, there will always be someone, there will always be an individual where there may pose issues, but in general, there is no particular group other than someone who is completely blind that we're currently not able to work with, and we have started researching into spatial audio to see if there's a way we can make it accessible to people without sight as well.
Folks, if you can all join me in number one, congratulating Jim and his team on such incredible success and development with Hado, and thank him for today's presentation. So, as a follow-on from today's lecture, you now all have the opportunity to engage in Hado in Metronome P1, the main venue. I'm pretty certain I made this compulsory for everyone, so hopefully you've brought your Nikes. It is time to get involved in the action. So, if you can all, within the next 10 minutes, make yourselves...
Close match.
So we're just warming up over here, and Raf tries shooting us. He doesn't realise that's how it works.
Here we go.
Game's about to start then.
First round, 80 seconds on the clock. Shots are being fired.
Straight away, shots coming in. No one's really hitting anything. Blue team finally gets a bit of damage off there. He's walking back into the wall there. Duncan's going to break it if he's not careful. Now he's trying to hit his teammates. Red team gets the first point on the board here. Well, blue team very low already. Already losing their shield cells. The movement for the blue team's there, but it is a bit ridiculous.
Get in there, sunshine.
Blue team equalises. Mackenzie nearly falls on his ass. Not the first time he's done that in college. 2-2 now the score.
Seconds on the
point there for the blue team makes it 3-2.
Reds are not in the lead.
Someone on the blue team's already low though. Nearly. I don't know how that shot didn't hit him.
3-3. Can they?
Finn, what do you think of this game so far?
Brothers moving.
The movement's there, but well, we've been complaining no one's been moving, so.
To the Reds.
So now it's 5-3.
The red team. Oh, they put it back 5-0.
Red team coming back with a bit of 5-0. 2 points there on the board for them.
Up and down.
They're pretty even on the shield so far. Low battery comes up. 10 seconds to go. Who's going to win this? We don't know. We can't see. The iPad's going to die. What's the score? Who knows?
Here we go. Who's winning? Who's winning?
And the winner's known as Mackenzie.
And he's on the floor.
And it's not the first time Mackenzie's collapsed in college.
Who won?
Who won?
Here we go.
So it's overtime. I mean, they're going to be needing that for the iPad soon with its power.
Oh my God.
Who won it?
Reds won.
Well, the real losers here was us watching that.
This is
why Samsung's better than Apple. Battery life, man.
Battery life ruins everything, mum. Oh shit!
Duncan,
we're down to overtime, and we never even
move
knew.
a bit less. There's a wall behind you, kid. Egypt.
That was a big Joshua.
I really enjoyed seeing the crab tech from Red Team.
Oh, it was crab tech from everyone, really. We saw a lot of movement.
We got people crouching, jumping, and going on the floor on the blue team.
We've got a competitive sport climber, a guy who dressed up as a Mexican, and Mackenzie on this team. What do you expect?
Huh?
We've got a competitive climber, a guy who dresses up as a Mexican, and Mackenzie, what do you expect from the blue team? They're not very athletically built, are they? They're barely good at video games, and they're here to study that.
You can't really say on the right team. He's emoting on the red team. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Maybe long hair's the strategy.
Maybe. He's throwing his lanyard off. He's in for the win.
Duncan's thrown up gun fingers. He's ready for this. Oh, we got some threats coming in here. Proper gangster stuff. He is raring to go.
Shing.
Now, this is intimidation tactic at its finest. For mind games, he's really getting into the head of the blue team. Yeah.
Give us a shing.
No. So 8 seconds on the clock, ready to go for the second game. Can red team make it back-to-back, or can blue team avenge it? Shields coming up straight away, burning up utility. Red team's not got a hit on anyone yet. They've already used 2 of their 9 shields available between them. And first point for the red team. Duncan's kicking up the backboard. It's very not good. A bit of a jump coming in there. Mackenzie, I don't know what he's doing over there. But they all look a bit lost.
2-1 to the Blues. Can the Reds win this back?
Red team, hopefully it's not a Harley
Quinn. They're all looking a bit lost. One of the
I don't know about that too. All equalises. We saw a habit of this in the first game where blue team was stretch lead and red team gets the first lead. Since now 4-2, they take extend it. Duncan going very close to the back again. Then Mackenzie, very quick steps. Raf doing a bit of a shuffle. 6-2's now the leader. Maybe this weird movement take here for the blue.
He's sliding about. I don't think his shoes have grips on him. I can't lie.
The weird movement tech for the blue team's really not helping them here, is it? For doing all this funky stuff, but maybe moving them too much is not helping their aim. A few points coming in, though, for the blue team. Catching up now to 1-point game. 20 seconds to go, but now equalised by the red team. Pulls another lead again. 7-6 of the score with 15 seconds to go. Red team very close to the back, getting a couple points in now. 9-6, 10 seconds to go. Shields coming up. Can we get another tiebreaker? Or will the iPad die again? Who knows?
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
And
in the end,
7-10.
And in the end, a convincing win there for the red team. I got confused midway through about who was on who. But the movement there, I think, for the blue team was really their undoing. Duncan puts his hat back on, celebrate, and those gun fingers really did intimidate the blue team.
Fingers, oh my God.
That was really a staple. Really.
I was intimidated sitting
I'm
here.
shaking him, and that's why I got it wrong. I got the teams mixed up. That was terrible. Right, we've got Gertie here. What do you think of your performance, mate? Personally, I think it was worse than mine.
What did you think of this match?
Yeah.
It was very shocking.
Yeah,
Outrageous.
Yeah, don't quit your day job. You're not going anywhere. Sit back down.
GG's, guys. Good games. I'm very hungry, so I'm going to get...
Duncan's a pedo. Bella ciao, bella ciao.
Okay, can I have number 6, please? Who haven't played yet?
Yes, mate.
Ronan? What's good? Ronan, you want to play? You want to cast? You want to play?
Yeah, I'll use this one. I like this one.
Oh. We're gonna go I got this. Pass it to Ryan.
Baba Dunder.
Say how much you need to
Yeah.
I'm in. Who wants to commentate?
Honestly, I think that game did
So, where are you going?
pretty badly.
Too bad your king did a good job. Good on everyone.
What's up? Hold on.
Come down here, mate.
Yeah. Go and play, mate.
Here you go, Ryan. You can cast the 2 mates.
No one wants to face us.
We're doing it.
Respect. And as a Chiwo. Trying to get front row seats for this. No, thank you. I'll be mean to Lewis.
Style. We have the power.
The power.
What's after? What are you after, mate? Oh, I thought you were asking for something. What do they look like? I see one, yeah. Yeah, I see one. Can you catch? Yeah, I can. No, you can't. Oh, I see the other one. This is it, right? Yeah. Ready? You got it?
Huh? Well, I think it's one of those things where none of them have eaten. It's the first opportunity they saw of someone else leaving to go eat. They were like, all right, I'll also go eat. I would have done the same. I'm simply too responsible. I am waiting for somebody else to buy my dinner, that's true.
Good effort, mate. Yes.
it, Jared. Claire, tell Jade to get one of these headsets on. Claire, also put one of these headsets on. Simple, sorted. That can't be allowed. There's no way that's allowed. Health and safety, and it's our own staff causing the problems. The coordination issues that plagued Duncan last round have not moved as he moved across the map. Bit of showboating here from Connor Prince. High energy performance.
Chaz is out here looking a bit like a cat.
Meow, meow,
meow.
He's bringing good luck to his team, though. They are 7-3 up. Oh, no, they're not. They're 7-3 down.
Yeah. The whole Chinese Lucky mascot impression is not looking good for Charlie.
It's not doing it.
It's not hitting. We've got Lewis. Lewis started out using Charlie as a meat shield, but since that stopped, he's not looking too hot. Adam's slipping and sliding everywhere.
Blue team at least making the most of their movement, even if it is costing Adam his balance.
Well, they are winning, and they do look like they're about to take the W.
Red are very static. It feels like it's quite easy to take the points off them. Duncan, your biggest problem is you keep running into the wall. Just move forward, more forward.
I mean, that is generally how eyes work, Duncan. You can't, you can't see out the back of your head.
It's a skill issue, that is, Ryan.
Like,
I've been seeing out the back of my head all day.
Like always, then.
So,
Blue
Adam,
team, I'm not seeing enough movement.
Adam, stay on your feet. Duncan, stay off the wall. Red, move at all.
Yeah, true.
Connor has the dress sense of a break dancer. He doesn't quite have the moves yet, though. Expensive equipment. He's being very careful with it. He's very responsible.
Sensible geezer. However, sensibility may not get the victory.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to take risks to win, and I think risking someone else's very expensive equipment is maybe a risk I'd take.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's all about sacrifice. Blood, sweat, tears, and expensive equipment.
These are not the views of our employer. Just throw that out there.
Okay, here we go. Shields put up to begin with.
Cautious start, but it pays off for blue.
Charlie's still going with the cat impression. Doesn't seem to be working out for him so far, but we'll see. Adam still looks like he's playing Uno. Not Uno.
Adam is legitimately going to wipe himself out here.
Adam looks at any one moment in time that he could be involved in a game of Hado or a game of Twister.
Blue really need to move forward.
The shield's
That's
up
the
again
biggest
for the
thing.
red team.
Every time blue fall back, they run the risk of hitting that wall.
Again, red team just too static for my liking.
It's very easy for blue to keep the pressure on
It
if
is
red are
close
just not
this
going to
time
move.
round. Them being more static might mean they're a little bit more accurate. Mind you, there hasn't been a life taken in a while. Oh,
You
there
can
we
see
go.
all the Valorant training here. Very static, no one dying.
Yes, true.
Time running down.
Hold your angles.
Don't over-peak. Coming down to the last 10 seconds. Red up by 1 right now. Oh, now it's even. Red's got a shield for these last 5. See if it helps them out. Are we going to get kill right at the end? Nah,
it's a very cautious match. That's always going to take you into that draw, into that
We're
overtime.
going to overtime. I think it's just first to 1 kill, and I see both teams.
Do they get their resources back? Or are we going to see some shields going
somebody
out?
on 1 health. Both teams have someone on 1 health. Oh, and they've just rolled him. There we go. Red team, as usual, when we got to the overtime, did not have a clue what was going on. Next 6, up you get.
Come on, Jaden Clare.
Hurry up, you get, mate. You can go.
Get up there, Claire.
Connor, go on, man. Jack, you going, mate? Go on, mate.
We started with staff. We're finishing with ambassadors. Fair.
What's up, mate?
I was going to say, it's 1:30. They got to be out of here, isn't it?
I already got my W today. 18 kill W.
Make yourself useful while you're It's got an assessment to prepare for.
True. We've got some returning wily old veterans and some new fresh blood for this one.
Panda's Inton, like always.
Shields coming up for both teams.
Very passive game so far. Only 1 kill in about 20 seconds.
2 shields on both sides. The red shields are gone now, and blue team taking advantage. 3 points in that short span.
Red team
and they've got
really not moving
HP
here
as well. Again, red team just too static. No one's moving. I'm feeling like Ninja in Times Square. Just keep saying there's not enough movement.
6-3 right now. Can red team make a comeback and win the game?
I'm going to say no.
I agree. Especially with Lewis.
Yeah.
Both teams not really moving.
Yeah, very static. They're out here looking like Killjoy turrets.
20
well, they're
seconds
saying
left.
that. The blue team is now moving around.
They are. but it's a
Duncan
2-kill
getting
game.
so close that I'm worried he might actually punch somebody.
Final 10 seconds with a 1-kill
It's very close.
game.
It's a draw right now. Oh, the
red
team's clutching up. Oh, it's a tie again.
Final second kill for the blue team to draw
Straight
it.
to
Take it to overtime. Next kill wins.
Can't really see what the health bars are looking like on the red team. The blue team relatively healthy. They've not got anybody on. They've only got 1 on 2. Oh, there we go.
And it finishes blue team win.
Blue team finished them off straight away.
Lewis once again losing, like always.
Yeah. It's tough.
I do, yeah. I'm not denying it.
It's just not his day. It's not his day.
It's never his day. Yeah, get Harry on. Harry loves the game. Get Harry on. Yeah, you two. Yeah, go on. You and Kyle. Kyle, go on. Go on. I'll pass your assignment, that's enough. I love this techno music, it's so cool. It's a vibe.
Please don't climb up that way.
I'm not going, don't worry.
Okay, good. Lewis, I'm going to need you to see you carry your team to a victory right now. Currently 0-2. It's disappointing.
I think the shield's a bit of a problem here. Shouldn't be a hard concept to grasp, but seems that it is.
Both teams getting a lot of practice in between games, but it doesn't seem to be helping when they actually start because they both kind of suck. But we'll see.
Harry will get 12 kills by himself. Calling it. Harry is the GOAT.
Last time both teams at the start used a lot of shields. Let's see if it starts like that straight away. The problem with using it at the start is you don't have it towards the end. But
I don't think Jade will, because currently can't figure out how to use them.
oh, someone knocked down to 1 HP straight away. I think that was Harry. Harry already 1 HP. But the blue team still managed to come out with first point. Instantly traded. That Valorant fundamentals coming in right there. Cheeky bit of trading.
Red team took a lead, and it was very, very early.
Harry playing really far forward, and at the moment he's getting punished for it. Makes him a little bit easier to hit, I think. Oh, someone just got rolled. Or
Red
one
team
shot.
have a bit more movement now, as you can see. They're actually using their feet, as they should.
Yeah, Lewis seems to be actually moving this time around, and so far it's working out. I've also noticed he's getting infinitely more aggressive with his throws. It's like he's actually trying to throw a ball. Yeah, that's it. He's 0-2 right now, but you know the aggressiveness is really showing. Currently charging, trying to throw up a shield. Just more movement on the red team. It's currently paying off. Ryan and Harry looking very stationary. Speaking as a fellow Ryan is taking from the book of move as little as possible.
Oh my God, red team, what a
him.
game. Who would have thought? Not me.
Finally, Lewis now 1-2. What a record. Looking like last season's Arsenal.
Whoa. 7-0, yeah?
Whoa.
7-0.
Whoa.
7-0, yeah?
Whoa.
You're trying to diss the guy whose team won. It doesn't work like that, Panda.
Yeah. Usually I don't take offense to when someone's calling me out for a 7-0 victory. Moving on. Swiftly moving on. Yeah. They were out on the town too much after the Carabao Cup, that's the problem.
My arm is dead. Like, not the one I was shooting with, this one. What are you talking about? This arm's not dead at all. It's square. You get in there.
Nah, I can't. I broke my leg.
Yeah, I'll
Connie, you want to play again?
Come on. No, you can't be scared. Me first. Oh yeah, them three. I'll come and get a drink. Oh wait, no, I can't leave now.
You guys playing? Alright, I'll join them then.
Yo, Panda, come up here. We can do commentary together, bro.
Do you want a mic?
Yo, me and Panda, Ryan, me and Lewis.
Careful, Ryan. Hello.
Goodbye.
Warriors, Gotha.
True, 34-31.
Yeah.
The Millers.
We've got an interesting matchup. Teachers versus students. Kyle gonna get diffed as usual. I'm gonna flame Kyle so much.
I wouldn't flame him because he is marking your assessment.
They do have Grundy, who is a Valorant player. He's currently silver, though. It is a bit of a shame. You lot throw shade at me, I'm going to throw shade at you. Oh God, I sound like a Goose Fair person. Do you know when you're getting like hook a duck and they got like people, come and get your hook a duck.
Hit him with that Grundy grind.
You would say the Grundy grind set, but I'd say Zinton, personally. Maybe.
Your head is very large.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, what can I say? That's why I get distinctions every time, other than the first year.
I'm going to say, did you get a merit in the first year?
You see, students do have an interesting lineup, you know, with Adam, a little bit of an entering class, you know, jumping under tables when there's wires, but they have Harry. They have Harry, who is a professional player at Hado. He could pop off in this game.
Is he?
Yes.
Since when?
Since I said.
Fair enough.
Grundy, I want to see a lot of movement from you in particular. Grundy, not enough movement. Please keep moving.
Game's not started yet, Lewis. Come on.
They're in training. I'm not seeing enough movement. As we begin the game, Grundy not being very aggressive. Kyle straight in. He's looking like a tank. That Reinhardt experience paying off.
Quick 2-0 lead for the Reds here.
Yeah, Reds are 2 up. Blue team not moving enough. Harry, get them legs moving.
2-1.
Teachers
3-1.
are diffing.
Same score as the Rotherham game on Saturday.
Students managed to get... Oh, and it's 3-3. Students are popping off. Shields coming up from everywhere. Kyle just hitting the air like he's giving someone a save.
Look at the plays. Blue team are winning.
Ryan is in tin. I'm not seeing enough movement from Ryan. Stop hiding behind Kyle. He's not going to protect you. This isn't Valorant. There isn't a sage wall in front of you. 8, 4, 9, 10. I say 10. Students are
Adam is treating this floor like a slip and slide. He's just going everywhere.
Harry dead. 10-6. Teachers are pulling it back. 30 seconds left. 11 to the students. Students popping off.
7-point game here. Can the teachers bring it back? Probably not.
Harry moving like he's playing Just Dance. Sliding from the left and to the right. Adam playing like he's playing dodgeball for some reason, slipping and sliding. Harry, we need to see some movement. You are winning. Just run around in circles. Do something. Kyle is struggling, and it's game.
The blue team winning, teachers losing.
It's funny that Ryan would, you know, say 2-1 to me, but he entered that whole game, not seeing enough movement, not hitting his shots. That's what you expect from a Silver and Valorant player.
Personally, I think Connor Judge would have carried that game if he was playing.
Sorry? Top hat diff, that's what I'm saying.
Next game, we should have Connor Judge. He's going to carry the game to 30-0.
Connor Judge, give me a distinction and I will not flame you.
That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I was nice to... Ryan Zinton as usual. Kyle
he
with
is
the
not
5K.
on the Grundy grind.
Yeah, no. Connor struggling to set up at the moment. No pressure, mate.
Don't put him under too much pressure. Unnecessary pressure as well.
If I hear an aggrievement and the contract for the distinction, you'll get a good, commentary. That's all I'm saying. You got to try and bribe him some way. Money doesn't work.
He allows me to watch Family Guy, so I praise him. I think that's a fair.
Top Hat stomping around. He's letting him know. He's bringing that war cry. Look at him as he just shuffles across.
He's hitting with a truffle shuffle there, man. Come on.
Teachers have made a substitute. Kyle's off for the Connor judge. Can he make an impact? Can he bring the game? Like Ryan was lacking that game, To say he's an immortal Valorant player, not hitting his shots, it's a little. You got to question it, don't you, Connor?
Yeah, man. Kyle's also walked out of the room. I think he's given up on the teachers here. He is yet to return. I think he believes the teachers are not worthy of winning.
Grundy getting ready. Get on that front line, Grundy. Show the move. We're off to an interesting start. No kills straight off the bat. Shields going up from the red team. Red team with the first kill. Come on, students.
I'm going teachers here because they're the ones that grading my work. I want to pass.
There is call-outs from Adam. Adam playing it like it is CSGO.
CS slow is unbelievably boring.
It's funny because the blue team are doing very slow movements at the moment. It is 4-3. Grundy stood still. It's an easy kill. Kill Grundy. He's AFK.
Grundy, you need to move when you're not.
Connor moving like a man possessed.
Don't stand still. It's not a very smart idea.
I want to see a slide from Connor.
I want like a front roll or something.
It is 10-6 to the students. Students are winning this. Absolutely domination. Grundy not carrying his team. It's funny, he said to me carry it, but he's not doing anything himself.
Grundy's not on the Grundy grind. He's
Grundy, I want to see more aggressive flicks. Where's the shield, Grundy? Do something.
It's a 4-point game here in favour of the students.
Top Hat popping off as he runs back and forth, letting them know, asserting his dominance.
Every time the teachers get a point, the students get a point instantly after.
16-12 with 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Teachers are absolutely annihilated.
And that is, once again, Grundy losing
2.
Another game.
What a poor showing from Ryan Grundy. I'm absolutely disappointed.
Grundy was that bad, not even Connor Judge could carry him. That's how you know.
Connor came in, he made an impact. I heard he's going to give me a distinction, so I've changed it. He had a very good impact. Getting a couple of picks, a couple of shields here and there, but Grundy, the issue on this teachers team, there needs to be a substitution. I think Kyle and Connor could have carried this game.
We also need to remember that Ryan is grading our work as well, so don't be too harsh on him.
That's fine. Right, that's me. I've done my hadn't grind set mindset.
Panda's Inton.
True. Goodbye. Kyle, they lost again. They didn't have your impact.
Ryan is always throwing.
That will be me.
Goodbye.
I'll make some food. What's your coffee? That's me done and all, mate. Yeah, no worries.
Come on.
Do, 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 do.